Welcome to Calm Sleepy Tales. The Clockmaker's Compass is a whimsical tale set in Widdersham's enchanting antique shop, Milo Co Antiques, weaving together the shop's curious past, unusual items, and local lore. In the heart of Widdersham, where cobblestone streets meander like forgotten thoughts, and the air carries the scent of old parchment and blooming elderflowers, there stands a peculiar shop. Its foggy windows display a curious assortment of items. A teacup that hums lullabies, a mirror that reflects dreams, and a doorknob unattached to any door. Above the entrance hangs a tarnished brass sign, shaped like a keyhole, engraved with Milo Co, Antiques and Oddments for the incurably curious. Inside, the shop is a labyrinth of shelves and cabinets, each brimming with objects that whisper tales of yesteryears. The air is thick with the aroma of beeswax, aged wood, and secrets waiting to be uncovered. At the centre of this organised chaos stands Mr. Alaric Milo, the shop's enigmatic proprietor. Tall and slender, with ash-grey hair perpetually dusted with cobwebs, he dons a charcoal waistcoat adorned with an ever-changing collection of pocket watches and monocles. His wire-rimmed spectacles, one lens tinted and ever-shifting in hue, perch on his nose as he surveys his domain with a twinkle in his eye. The arrival of the compass. One misty morning, as the doorbell chimed a tune reminiscent of a lullaby from a distant land, a young girl named Eliza stepped into the shop. Clutched in her hand was an old, tarnished compass, its needle spinning erratically. "I found this in my grandmother's attic," she said, placing it gently on the counter. She said it once belonged to a clockmaker who could navigate time itself. Mr. Milo's eyes sparkled as he examined the compass. "Ah, the chrono compass," he murmured. "A rare artifact indeed. It doesn't point north, but rather to moments lost in time." He opened a drawer and retrieved a small, ornate key. Inserting it into the compass, the needle steadied, pointing towards the back of the shop. "Follow where it leads," he instructed Eliza. The hidden room. Guided by the compass, Eliza navigated through the maze of antiques, past a shelf of music boxes that played tunes from forgotten eras, and a cabinet housing a collection of spectacles that revealed hidden truths. She arrived at a wall adorned with an assortment of clocks, all ticking in unison. As she approached, one of the clocks, a grand mahogany timepiece, swung open, revealing a hidden passage. Heart pounding with excitement, Eliza stepped through. The room beyond was bathed in a soft golden glow. Shelves lined the walls, each holding items more peculiar than the last. A quill that wrote stories on its own, a bottle containing the scent of a first love, and a mirror that showed not one's reflection, but their truest self. At the centre stood a pedestal, upon which rested a book bound in birch bark. Eliza opened it to find a map of Widdersham, but not as it was now. This map depicted the town as it once was, with paths and buildings long forgotten. The parchment pact. Eliza brought the book to Mr. Milo, who smiled knowingly. "This," he said, "is the original map of Widdersham, created by the town's founders, a clockmaker, a herbalist, and a map maker. They signed a pact on this very birch bark, promising to build a town where no one need hurry, no one go hungry, and no one ever get lost." He traced the faded ink with a finger. It's said that this map holds the key to restoring the town's forgotten wonders. The town's revival. Word of the map's discovery spread quickly. The townsfolk gathered at Milo Co, marvelling at the detailed illustrations of ancient buildings and hidden gardens. Inspired, they began to restore the forgotten parts of Widdersham. The old greenhouse behind the bakery was revived, now blooming with herbs and flowers. The abandoned clock tower chimed once more, its melodies echoing through the streets. Children playing in the newly uncovered maze garden, and elders shared stories in the restored amphitheatre. The town, once fading into obscurity, now thrived with renewed vigour. The mystery of Co. Throughout the restoration, whispers about the mysterious Co in the shop's name grew louder. Some claimed to see a ginger cat with a velvet collar lounging in the shop's windows, while others spoke of a talking rook perched behind the till. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Eliza returned to the shop. she found Mr. Milo sipping tea, the ginger cat curled at his feet. "Mr. Milo," she began, "who is the Co in Milo Co?" "Ah, the mysterious Co in Milo Co Antiques. A detail so small it nearly vanishes into the background, yet one that every curious visitor inevitably wonders about. And, true to the spirit of Widdersham, the answer depends a little on who you ask, when you ask, and what the moon is doing at the time. Let me tell you about what's rumoured, what's whispered, and what Mr. Milo himself has almost admitted." The ginger cat in the velvet collar. Children call her Thistle, though no one's sure why. She's been seen weaving between table legs or curled on a high bookshelf where no ladder reaches. Her collar, deep plum velvet with a tiny bronze bell, never jingles, but books fall open when she passes, and clocks slow as if she's somehow altered time. Some swear she can read. Others claim she disappears through keyholes. Once, a child swears they asked her where the lost chess piece had gone, and the next day it appeared on their windowsill. Mr. Milo never confirms Thistle's existence, but the tea saucer on the back counter always has cream in it, and fur that's definitely not his clings to his waistcoat. The rook with one glass eye. Perched high above the till is a brass weather vane shaped like a rook. Sometimes it's just a decoration. Other times it turns even when there's no breeze, always toward the person with a secret. But then there's the real rook, the one with a glass left eye and a penchant for rearranging receipts. Locals call him Corbin. He's been spotted nodding along to customers' questions, occasionally pecking out letters on Mr. Milo's vintage typewriter. If you're quiet and in the shop alone, you might hear a low voice croak from the rafters. "That locket doesn't belong to her, you know." No one has ever seen Mr. Milo feed Corbin, yet he always has crumbs in his pocket. The whispering cabinet. Tucked behind a faded tapestry is a cabinet that appears in none of the shop's diagrams. When unlocked, which it rarely is, it creaks open and hums softly. Some say Co refers to the voices within, those of past shopkeepers, collectors, and wayward spirits whose loved objects still linger. One tale says that & Co. came about when Mr. Milo inherited the shop from a woman named Mrs. Claudette Opaline, who signed everything with her initials CO. Others say Milo simply added & Co. because he's never truly alone in the shop and felt it only polite to acknowledge that. Milo's own cryptic explanation, when once asked directly by Miss Theodora Plum of the Misty Teacup, Mr. Milo merely sipped his tea, looked out the rain-speckled window and said, "Well now, a gentleman never names his companions out loud. That's how you lose their favour." Then he winked, and no one in particular. What we do know, & Co. is always written in a different script depending on the day. The shop ledger has multiple signatures. Only one is legible. Items moved overnight sometimes bear small paw prints or inky feathers. Customers have reported receiving change that jingled with unfamiliar coins, engraved with initials TC, CO, RK. So, who or what is Co? The truth? It's a partnership of peculiarities. A cat who may be older than the village. A bird who remembers things you've never told anyone. A cabinet that keeps secrets safer than any vault. And perhaps Widdersham itself, lending its own quiet magic to the shop that holds its memory. If you stay late enough, when the lantern dims and the clocks all sigh in unison, you might just hear them, the company, still keeping shop, still waiting for the incurably curious. A legacy preserved. Years passed, but Milo & Co. remained a cornerstone of Widdersham. Travellers from distant lands visited, drawn by tales of the shop where time danced and stories breathed. Eliza, now grown, took over the shop, preserving its legacy. She added her own curiosities. A lantern that illuminated forgotten memories. A globe that spun to reveal dreams. And a music box that played the song of one's heart. And so, the tale of Milo & Co. continued, a testament to the magic that thrives when curiosity meets wonder.